Hello there, niggas and wiggers. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. I'm Uppity White Guy. You know me. UWG on this channel. So anyway, in the news lately about, white people being bad and anti-white people, we got Google AI, which, the thing about AI is, and there's lots of different things, but the thing about AI is, it's only as good as the retards that are programming the shit. And when you get these leftist retards that have mental problems putting information into this shit, how do you think it's going to come out? Oh, it's okay, it's okay. No, it's not okay. Every one of these people that work on this thing should have to take some sort of psychological screening before Google hires them, before Microsoft hires, whatever. All these assholes should have to take some sort of psychological screening, like real psychological screening, not by a doctor with like a mohawk and purple hair. Okay, they should have to be scrutinized for their mental abilities, not the fact that they can program or write code. Because they should not be programming. This is the problem we're going to wind up in, and we're already here. This Gemini could not pull up pictures of white people. It just couldn't do it. Because this asshole who programmed it is a woke-tard. He's a retard. He is somebody that hates white people, and he's white. He's white. I didn't write down his name because I can't even pronounce his last name. So I didn't even write it down. But he is a complete fucking woke-tard. He's retarded. He, some of his texts before were, he said when he voted for Biden, he actually cried. This guy has a fucking major problem. And not just being a pussy, because that seems to be a problem as well. But he's a major fucking problem. And this is the guy they hired to head up this project. This Gemini chatbot shit was this fucking retard. It cannot produce images of Abraham Lincoln, Julius Caesar, and Galileo. It couldn't bring up images of them. When it was asked to produce images of George Washington, he came out black. So not only is it just it's historically wildly inaccurate. It's a fucking joke. And these are the retards that we got doing this shit. And they justify it because of white superiority. This is a crock of shit. When it brings up early Americans or whatever, they're Indians, which some of them were, but not all of them. It won't bring up a white person. Ask it to bring up a Viking, the person's black. You gotta be shitting me. British people, they come out black and Indian and shit. You gotta be fucking kidding me. It will not bring up a white person. There's a fucking serious problem there. Oh, but that's okay, don't judge. Yeah, go fuck yourself. I'm judging that it's historically inaccurate, you fucking retard. This guy should be taken out back and at least smacked upside his fucking head. He's retarded. He's like a lot of the people that I used to work with at the TV network that I used to work at. A lot of them were just like this fucking retard. Just like it. They were, self-hating white people. A lot of them were failed film flunkies that never got into film, so they went into television and, they never got into film. They'll never get into film, but they think they know a lot about it, but they think they're all Steven Spielbergs and they're putting up their little projects on the YouTube and shit, but they'll never get into film. Not one of them will. Most of them won't even try that hard to get into film. They'll just keep putting shit on YouTube. But it's like these people I used to know over at the network I used to work at. It's the same fucking shit. They can't stand Trump. They don't know why. They don't know anything he did. any of his accomplishments. They can't name one. They can't name any of Biden's, but he's better. And, you know, they have this self-white hatred. This is a mental disability. It's a mental illness. Just like trans and all that stuff. It's mental. But we won't say it in this country. Actually, now it's trendy to have a mental problem. Who's your therapist? What drugs are you on? This is what the fuck it is. This is a disaster. It's a fucking disaster in this country. So you got this asshole programming this Gemini chatbot, and he hates his own race. He hates being white so much, you can't bring up a fucking white person. It's historically wildly inaccurate. It's a fucking joke. And yet somehow Google let this slip by. Like, I know it, like they didn't think there'd be backlash about this. I mean, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Why was this guy not given a psychological exam before he got this job? He should have been given one. Because most of the people programming this shit, when you see somebody that's putting out tweets about white supremacy and all this shit, nah, he shouldn't be doing this job. He shouldn't be doing it. And you hire him. When you see somebody that comes in on his job, they got like a purple mohawk, they shouldn't be doing it. Not one of them. Not one of them should be doing this job. And yet they're fucking hired to do it. You've got to be fucking kidding, right? You've got to be fucking kidding. It's a joke. And then they asked it, is pedophilia wrong? And it couldn't say it was wrong. It said it was more complex and all this shit. It's wrong. That's it. Yes, it's wrong. That should have been the fucking answer. It couldn't do it. We got a big problem with this AI. It's a humongous problem. And it will never be any good because the people in control of it are retards. And it's going to be a bad, bad thing. It could be a good thing, but it has to be even and level and tell the truth. Historically and otherwise. And it has to recognize that, you know, when you harm kids, well, that's a bad thing. You don't debate it. It's not a fucking question. Shit, a decade ago, that wouldn't even been a question. Of course it's wrong. Now it's, well, I don't know. They're MAPs. Minor attracted persons. Are you fucking kidding me? They're sick. They have a mental disease. They're not minor attracted anything. They got a fucking mental disease. Call it what it is. We can't seem to do that. I don't know what the fuck's going on in this country. People have just lost their minds. It comes down to anything. I talked about before with this fucking Peanuts cartoon, where they put the black kid on one side of the table and everybody else was sitting on it. And when I say everybody else, like 3 people or something were sitting on the other side of the table. Charlie Brown and Peppermint Patty and I don't know, maybe the dog. I don't remember. We're sitting on the other side of the table. And all of a sudden now, that's racist. And they had to make a whole special about this black character, the one token black character that they have in the thing. His name's Franklin. He's a bit character. It's a bit character. He's not one of the main players. I grew up reading the Peanuts. He's not one of the main players. It's not like he's Snoop, okay? They have to make a whole thing about him and redo it so that they include him to correct the Thanksgiving Day one. They're not redoing the Thanksgiving Day, but again, they're sitting at a table, and this time everyone's sitting around it. Are you fucking kidding? It's a fucking cartoon, retards. First of all, Franklin was lucky he was even invited to Thanksgiving. I didn't see Schroeder there. I didn't see Pigpen there. I didn't see Lucy there. She's a bitch anyway, so nobody wants that bitch. But I'm serious. I didn't see all these fucking people. I think Linus was there. Not sure. Pretty sure he was. He's one of the main characters. Him and his blanket. But the thing is, I didn't see a ton of other characters at the Thanksgiving Day table. So had they not invited him, would it have been racist? Now he's got the whole side of the table to himself. I would love that. Elbow room. But apparently that's racist, because nobody's sitting next to him. They're sitting right across from the fucking nigga. Damn! Are you fucking shitting me? So now that's racist, so they gotta go back and make a whole nother episode based on the one black character that is a bit character. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? What are we gonna have next? They gotta make a whole fucking episode on Pigpen because of the dirty homeless? This is a fucking joke. This is retarded. But again, I don't know. These retards, they just keep going on and complaining about this shit. I just don't fucking get it. You've got to be a special kind of stupid. And you got to be an idiot to sit there and program the chatbot so it doesn't bring up white people at all. And say Vikings were black, and the Founding Fathers were black. I'm sure Joyless Reed over at MSNBC loved it, but the fact of the matter is, that's racist. If a black person did that, you know, if a white person did it to exclude black people, oh, geez, here we go again. All you gotta do is flip the coin to know if it's right or not. That's what everybody says, and it's true. That's all the fuck you gotta do. But they won't do that. They won't do it. It is a motherfucking joke that they let people like this program things like this. They let people design cartoons simply because they think something that was made in the 60s is now racist. And it's a kid's cartoon. Nobody noticed, nobody cared. I couldn't even remember Franklin's fucking name. Again, he's a bit character. Like Token in South Park. He's a fucking bit character. He's not even one of the main characters. How the fuck he got invited to that Thanksgiving Day thing, I don't know. Maybe because they had to include one black kid? I don't get it. It's a fucking joke, people. It is a fucking joke. And until you start standing up and saying it's a fucking joke, it's gonna go on and on. That's why whenever I hear anybody say, I just, oh, fuck that shit. What do I care? They don't pay my bills. They ain't my friend. I don't give a fuck. You think I care about my impression on them? The fuck do I give a shit? What bills are they paying for me this month? That one. Yeah. So, bullshit. This is getting fucking retarded. It's down to comics now. This racism and anti-white shit is getting retarded. Like I've said before, there should be a White History Month. Easily. If you looked at all the shit that white people invented, and everybody, yes, everybody had their hand in something. Asian people, Latin people, everybody made up this country, black people. But on the whole, who did them? Not everybody did the same amount, retards. I know people hate being the minority. Boy, they hate it. But somebody's got to be the minority and somebody's got to be the majority. There's not an even amount of everybody. That's just the fucking way it is. You know, if you look at the amount of shit that white people invented, you should be kissing their fucking ass every day. And don't say you're owed something. You ain't owed shit. You don't see the descendants of white people getting paid money because they invented shit that makes everybody's life better. Why should you? Fuck you. You don't get any fucking money. And you got California out here like a bunch of retards. We're gonna say sorry and give reparations. They weren't even a slave state. California is full of the biggest cucks I have ever fucking seen. If I could take a jackhammer and just chisel that state like off and let it off into the ocean and let it sink, I would. It is a shithole. Again, I know all the people that I used to work with at the network used to think California's great because that's where films are made. And again, they're all film school failures. That's why they're working in the network that they're working in, because they're film school failures. Yeah, so, yeah. They think California's great. I don't think stepping on needles and piss and human excrement is good. Okay? That's just me. You know, that's fucking me. Okay? So, no, I don't think that shit's good. So, no, that place is a shithole. And that dumbass out in California, he's running a silent campaign for president. Watch, because they're gonna pull this retard out. Because he's lost his fucking marbles. Although he's really sharp as a tack when you're not in a room. We keep hearing this shit, but he's had dementia since God knows way back when. You could see it when he was vice president. But I don't know. People just didn't get it then, and they're not getting it now. It's so fucking obvious. It's so fucking obvious. The press is now, they can't deny it anymore. But they're trying to say that they always gaslight. They're trying to say Trump has a problem now because he mixed up a word or something. No, he's as sharp as a tack. But you know, Father Time is undefeated. It comes for everybody. But it has not come knocking on Trump's door yet. It's already up Biden's asshole. So this asshole in California, he just keeps denying that he's going to run for president. What he's doing a silent campaign. That's why he's keeping himself in the news all the time. And once Biden has to step down, he'll step up and say he's going to do it for his country. That wigger wants to be president, but he's just doing it silently as not to look like an asshole. So you look at what he did in California, and there were still be tons of people that will vote for this asshole. That's the scary part. And there'll be tons of blacks that just never learn their lesson, and they'll vote for him again. Well, gee, reparations in California. We get free money all over the country. Meanwhile, California is over $30 billion in debt in the hole. And they're talking about reparations? Where the fuck's that going to come from? And they weren't even a slave state. Jesus Christ. This anti-white shit is ridiculous. You should be kissing a white person's ass every time you see him, for fuck's sake. And now, I didn't invent anything. But then again, I didn't invent anything, but you were never a slave. So if you want reparations, you should be kissing my ass for my ancestors inventing shit that you use every day. The roads, the cars, the planes, the AC, your fucking toilet. That's why you don't live like a fucking savage. Because of white people. Your ancestors didn't invent that shit. I hate to fucking break it to you. Although if you ask the AI, yeah, they'll bring up pictures of the guy who invented the toilet and he'll be black. Or the guy who paved the first road and he'll be black. They'll bring up Henry Ford and that nigga will be black. So, yeah. Say, just rewrite history. That's all the fuck it takes, right? Fuck that shit. These balls.